Hi girls, I hope you had a wonderful week and got all your work done and were also able to enjoy time with your family. We have another week ahead of us and I'm looking forward to learning with you this week as well. I plan on having a Zoom meeting sometime in the middle of the week that we can go over some of the things we learn and just get to see each other a little bit. I will email you some information about that. But for now, I want to talk about some Rashis relating to the psukim that you guys went over last week. So just to remind you, we are learning the story of Balak and Bilam. Balak, who was the king, or who was appointed to be the king of Moab, was afraid of Bnei Israel taking over and defeating him. So he goes on a mission to find Bilam, who is a prophet, a non-Jewish prophet, and he asks him to come and curse Bnei Israel. And that's the general overview of the story we're learning. So the way I'm gonna do this is on your Google Classroom, you're going to see that I uploaded a document with 5 different learning guides. The learning guides are the Chavrusha learning, the Rashis that you guys do in class together. So I just have 5 of them in one document to make things easier and less messy. But I will post a video, a separate video for each one. And this is for the first one that goes through Psukim Aleph through Daled. And I know since we're not in school and we're not supposed to be really getting together, it's hard to work in chavrusas. So I will be your chavrusa for this learning process. So if you have a chumash, it would be very useful to have one in front of you, a chumash with Rashi. If you don't have a chumash with Rashi, I also uploaded on the Google Classroom a document that has the Rashis written out for you to study. And very important note, just like in class, do not rely on just what the Rashi in the learning guide says, because it's not the full Rashi. It's just the important pieces that I want you to translate. But unless you read the entire Rashi, you won't know what I'm talking about. So, with that said, please get either your Chumash or the Rashi that I posted, and let's get started. All right, so we are, and again, like last time, I'm gonna say if I keep looking the other way, it's because I have my computer in front of me and I'm reading the worksheet as I talk to you. So if you open up learning guide number 1, the first thing you'll see is a Rashi on Pasuk Gimel. And the Dibur HaMatchil that we're learning is the following. Vayar Balak ben Tzipor et kol asher asa Israel la'emori. So first thing to do is to look at the pasuk to figure out what exactly we're looking for in the Rashi. Lucky for us, this Dibur HaMatchil is basically the entire pasuk, and it's a relatively easy one. Balak ben Tzipor saw everything that Bnei Israel did to the Emori. So the purpose of this Rashi is to figure out exactly what did Balak ben Tzipor see, what happened that all of a sudden he got so afraid and wanted Bnei Israel to, he wanted to defeat Bnei Israel. So let's read the Rashi together. Amar, he said, Elu shne melachim, these are 2 kings, שהיינו בטוחים עליהם, that we were always safe through them. We felt that they protected us. לא עמדו בפניהם. They could not resist the Bnei Israel, meaning Bnei Israel were so strong that these 2 kings couldn't resist what Bnei Israel fought against them. Anu al achat kama vekama. So us, meaning his people, how much more so we won't be able to handle it. Lefichach, therefore, Vayagar Moab. The following pasuk says that Moab was really scared. So let's make sense of this Rashi. If you remember, Moab, it's kind of like a relationship we have to discuss here. Balak is the king of Moab, and he had these two, I'm going to call them frenemies. At first they weren't allies, but what connected them together was their fear or dislike of Bnei Israel. So Balak, who was the king of Moab, who was appointed to be the king of Moab, saw the Bnei Israel defeated Midian and defeated the Emor, the nation called Emor. And in his eyes, Midian and Emor were very strong nations that are not supposed to be defeated. And he said, I always felt safe that these nations were kind of a barrier between me and Bnei Israel. But now the Bnei Israel defeated them. How much more so should I feel afraid of Bnei Israel? And that's why, if you look at the very next pasuk, pasuk Gimel, says, Vayagar Moab mipnei ha'am me'od. Moab became terrified of the people. So why were they so terrified? Because they saw how they defeated the other nations that were very strong. So they said, if they defeated them, of course they're going to be able to defeat us. All right, that was Pasuk Gimel. If we move on to Pasuk Dalet, and as always, we have to look at the Pasuk before we look at the Rashi. So let's remember what it says. Vayomer Moab el ziknei Midian. Moab said to the elders of Midian, Ata yelachachu hakahal et kol svivotenu. Now this assembly will eat up everything around us. Kilchoch hashor et yerek hasadeh, just like the ox eats the greens of the field. Uvalak ben Tzipor, and Balak ben Tzipor, melech leMoav ba'et hahu, was the king of Moab during that time. So there's a lot of things to discuss in this pasuk. So the first thing Rashi is looking at is, I'm just scrolling through the worksheet, if you give me 1 second. He is looking at the beginning of the pasuk and he's saying, why is Moab even talking to the elders of Midian? Why is Balak, who is the king of Moab, talking to the elders of this other nation, Midian? So let's look at the Dibur HaMatchil, El Ziknei Midian, the elders of Midian. Okay, here we go. Vehalo me'olam hayu son'im ze et ze. But did they not always hate each other? Meaning Moab, where Balak was from, and Midian, where the elders that he sought out for advice were from. Shene'emar, as it says, so this is a reference to a pasuk in Sefer Bereshit, Hamakeh et Midian bisde Moab, who defeated Midian in the field of Moab. Okay, so that's just a pasuk explaining that Midian and Moab were fighting, were in a war. Sheba'u Midian al Moab lemilchama, when Midian came against Moab in war, in battle. Okay, so Rashi establishes, I know from Sefer Bereshit that Midian and Moab are enemies, So why all of a sudden is Balak seeking counsel from Midian? So let's see the answer. That was Rashi's question right there. Ella, however, me'iratan shel Israel, from their mutual fear of Bnei Israel, asu shalom beinehem. They made peace with each other. Okay, so that's an interesting point. Their fear of Bnei Israel was so strong that it caused these two enemies to actually make peace with each other and work together against Bnei Israel. Umar Moav litol etza mimidian. And what did Moab see to take counsel or to take advice from Midian? כיוון שראו את ישראל נוצחים שלא כמנהג העולם. Since they saw the Bnei Israel were victorious, like in their battles, they were winning whatever battles they were fighting, שלא כמנהג העולם, that literally means not according to a natural way, meaning they didn't just win over in a natural way. I'm the strongest, I have the biggest guns, I'm gonna wipe you all down and win. They won supernaturally. What does that mean? What do you think? I think it means through the help of Hashem. So he saw that. They saw that. Amru, they said, Manhigam shel elu b'Midian nitgadal. They said the leader of these people was raised in Midian. Who's the leader of Bnei Israel? Moshe. And think back to Moshe's history. Where was he from? Where was he raised? Nish'al mehem ma midato. They said, we will ask them what his strength is. So just to take a step back and to kind of understand what we're talking about, Moab went to the elders of Midian and said, hey, these people who are so strong, who are winning all these battles kind of supernaturally, we know that he has a history with you guys, with your people. He's almost one of you. So tell us, what is his strength? What makes him so strong? Because if we know his strength, then we will know how to defeat him. Amru lo, they said to him, Ein kocho ela befiv. His strength is only in his mouth. And again, I'm going to let you think about what that could potentially mean. His strength is in his mouth. I think it means, we can think of Moshe speaking with Hashem, davening with Hashem. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. So let's see what Moab thought in response to that. Amru, they said, Af anu navo alehem be'adam shekocho befiv. We too will come against them with a man whose strength is in his mouth. So, again, to clarify, Moab goes to the elders of Midian and says, hey, tell us what the secret is of this leader that makes this nation so strong. The elders of Midian say, his strength is in his mouth. He davens to Hashem, he talks to Hashem. If you think about a lot of the miracles that were performed through Moshe's spoken word. So Balak says, oh, I have an idea. I actually know someone who also has a lot of strength through using his mouth, through using his words. And we know, because we read the whole parsha together, or the whole perek together, we know already that he's talking about Bilam, who is a person. He is a Navi, he's a prophet, and he also has a strong power in his mouth. He has the power to curse people or to bless people. So Balak thinks, great, I know how to defeat Moshe and his people. If he thinks he's so great with his words, I will bring someone who is also great with his words and defeat him that way. Okay, so to answer Rashi's question, that is why he went to the elders of Midian to figure out what exactly is it about Bnei Israel that makes them so strong. Because if I know their strength, I can fight them that way. If we go back to the pasuk, this pasuk is also kind of interesting. It has a very interesting description, because when Balak went to the elders of Midian, he said, look, this nation, this group of people is going to eat up everything around us like the ox eats the greens of the field. It's a very descriptive way of speaking. So let's see what Rashi has to say about that. Kilchoch hashor, that's the dibur hamatril. He wants to understand what is this analogy that he's giving them. So Rashi says, Kol ma shehashor melachech, whatever the ox eats up, ein bo bracha, it no longer has any blessing. So what does that mean? I guess the way an ox eats is it doesn't just I guess you can say cows graze the fields. So they just eat the surface of the grass or, whatever. I'm not an expert in animals and how they eat. I'm just going according to what Rashi says. But according to Rashi, when an ox eats up things from the field, it actually uproots the whole plant that it eats. It just takes it from the roots and just destroys it. Doesn't leave anything behind. So this is kind of an analogy that he's giving and saying Bnei Israel are so strong, they're not just going to come and do us little damage. If they come, they're going to completely uproot our nation and drive us out of here. That's why he was so scared, and that's why he took extreme measures to get Bilam to come curse Bnei Israel. And the last part of the pasuk, in this pasuk, there's a lot going on. It talks about going to the elders of Midian. It talks about this analogy that explains why Balak is so afraid. It tells them, they're going to uproot us. And then randomly in the end of the pasuk, we hear that Balak ben Zippor was the king of Moab during that time. So Rashi is looking at the words ba'et hahu, in that time. And he wants to clarify, what do you mean in that time he was the king of Moab? So let's talk about that a little bit. Dibur hamatril ba'et hahi. So Rashi says, Lo haya ra'ui lemalchut. He was not entitled to the monarchy, meaning he wasn't the natural heir to the throne. He wasn't the natural king. Minesichei Midian haya. He was one of the nobles of Midian. V'kevan shemet Sichon, and when Sichon died, Sichon was the king. Manuhu alehem letzorech sha'a. They appointed him over him on a temporary basis. So this is kind of showing us how far and how strong hatred can go. He wasn't even supposed to be the king at the time. He just was a temporary leader that was appointed when the king of Midian, Sichon, passed away. This happens a lot even in modern times. If God forbid a leader passes away, you appoint someone during an emergency, and then you have the regular elections or whatever. But Balak was a temporary king, and he was so strong in his hatred of Bnei Israel that he took it upon himself to do whatever he can to defeat them, even though he wasn't even supposed to be in charge at that time. So what I want you to try and do, I went through all the Rashis with you, translated them, explained them. I hope I did a good job. So what I want you to do now is to fill out the learning guide. So again, don't fill out the entire 20-page packet. This is just learning guide number 1. Let me see how many pages it is. 5 pages long, but the 5th page is like 1 sentence on it. So technically only 4 pages. Fill out the questions, the answers and the Sikkum of Rashi, and the follow-up questions on the Rashis. And if you have any trouble understanding anything, please feel free to reach out to me, and I will always gladly help you. And if you still have questions, we can go over whatever you don't understand in our Zoom meeting that I am hoping to schedule for Wednesday. Okay, girls, good luck. I miss you, and I hope to see you soon.